Good morning. Let us discuss current affairs. Market Assurance Scheme. Recently, the central government have proposed a new scheme called Market Assurance Scheme to relieve the rural farmers from distress. As you all know, for 23 crops we have minimum support price. Even this minimum support price is not given to the entire product. 33% of rice and wheat in India gets procured by this MSP, 8% of pulses and only 1% of oil seeds. And rest all products in non-seasonal conditions, the farmers are expected to sell for a lower price than the market price, than the MSP also. To save the rural farmers from distress, Market Assurance Scheme was proposed by the central government, and state governments can procure any quantity of grains, pulses, cereals, millets and coarse grains from the farmers with any quantity. There is no quantity cap. State governments can procure to protect the farmers. Here, central government will compensate in the normal regions, non-hilly regions, 40% of the state's funding, and in the northeast and hilly regions, 30% of the state funding. Next important current affairs is NASA's Super Tiger Balloon. NASA's Super Tiger Balloon to study heavy cosmic particles. In films you might get a question. NASA's Super Tiger Balloon. For what? What is the purpose for which NASA's Super Tiger Balloon was launched? To study heavy cosmic particles. This balloon is not the first balloon. Earlier also it was launched, but now this balloon is being launched in a more effective way to study cosmic particles from Antarctica. NASA scientists in Antarctica are set to launch a Super Tiger Balloon to study heavy cosmic particles. Collect the information about cosmic rays. To collect the information about cosmic rays which enter into the Earth's atmosphere every day. To collect the information about cosmic rays which enters into the atmosphere every day. The balloon is technically called as Super Tiger. Tiger means Trans-Iron Galactic Element Recorder. Tiger means Trans-Iron Galactic Element Recorder. Trans-Iron Galactic Element Recorder. There is one important current affairs today. Pod cab, pod taxi. Now in India, we have a new version, advanced version of transport system unfolding very soon. In Delhi, from Delhi to Gurgaon, around 12.3 kilometers, there will be pod cabs with the support of America and 4,000 crore project. Driverless cars will travel in a fast way where the cost of pod taxis is less than metro trains, and these taxis can carry around 5 passengers, cost effective, and they will be commanded through a ground command station, and India will have an advanced technology in transportation system. These pod taxis will not travel on roads. There will be traveled in a upstream areas, high elevated platforms above the roads, no traffic jams, no congestions. There will be separate line will be given beyond, like flyovers, like in the top way there will be pod taxis. China is trying hard to include Afghanistan in CPEC, China Pakistan economic corridor. Now China is moving towards including Afghanistan in CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. And Kulbhushan Jadhav's family, MEA told, is harassed in Pakistan. As we all know, Kulbhushan Jadhav's family went to Pakistan to see the Kulbhushan Jadhav. In the entire meeting was conducted under coercive conditions, and it lacks credibility. And even they were asked to remove, his family was asked to remove basic jewelry they wear and the shoes also. And his mother was not allowed to talk even in her own language, native language. And the entire meeting was conducted under coercive conditions. The next important article is about the two chief ministers. The two chief ministers who were appointed in Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat. In Himachal Pradesh and Gujarat, we have two chief ministers. Both were in good position, but the thing is, the article says they have to prove themselves as chief minister material rather than just being appointed as chief ministers. And next article is about Global Inequality Report 2018. In this article, there is a comparison between India and China. In Global Inequality Report, there is a comparison between India and China. Top 1% of Indians today owns 22% of Indian wealth. Whereas in 1950s, top 1% of Indians only 6% owns 6% of Indian wealth. In 2000, they own around 16% of Indian wealth. Now they own around 22%. That means top 1% are controlling 22% of income. For this, if you compare with China, this inequality is far low. And from 2000 till date, if you compare the growth 1980s to till date, if you compare the growth of Chinese economy, it is 800 times. If you compare Indian economy, it is only 200 times. And human capital is also needed. Human capital means educated, skillful humans along with healthy conditions, along with their health. This is called human capital. And we all say democracy is far better for development, or communism is far better for development. Even in India, there is fair chance because some of the Indian states are showing better GDP and growth levels than China. So in India also we have fair chance of winning over and getting better chance. India have a lot of human capital. Technology wise India is doing well, and human resource wise India is doing well. But in India, inequalities are growing. In India, inequalities are growing. That we have to address, because what we need at the end is the inclusive growth. Next article is about North Korea. The UN has imposed sanctions on North Korea. 89% of UN told 89% of imports, oil imports to North Korea should be stopped. And Moscow and Beijing are successful in persuading UN that excessive imposition of sanctions might actually boomerang. Active engagement in dialogue and dialogue process is far better than entanglements and sanctions. As we all know what happened in Iran, how we have tamed Iran, we can follow the same policy with North Korea. North Korea last month have testified ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, and demonstrated that it can even attack North America. Now, the only solution for North Korean problem is to tame them, to bring to a dialogue process. Rather than bitter entanglement and imposing sanctions, it is better to bring all of them to the dialogue process. And Moscow and Beijing should also take a stand of diplomacy in this issue. Next important article is about Indian patents. Section 3 Clause D of Indian Patent Act 1970, which was amended in 2005, says non-obviousness. Patents can be extended and evergreening of patents can be done when the new substance, or when there is a new added value to the old substance without non-obviousness. For example, if you make a very small change to the old product, and if you say you want to extend patent to it or you want to have new grant of patent to it, India will not allow. On this clause, US is strongly objecting India. US made a special report 301 making India in the priority watch list because India is following this non-obviousness clause, section 3 clause D. Section 3 clause D of Indian Patent Act says patents should not be renewed and patents will not be allowed for regular products without any new addition or new value substance is added to it. Whereas US is strongly objecting India's section 3 clause D because most of the MNCs belong to US, wanted to renew their patents, and Indian section 3 clause D was an obstruction to it. In this, there was a contention that Novartis case, as you all know, few years back, Novartis, an MNC, multinational company, went against India. Novartis had a drug called Gleevec, a rare cancer curing drug, but the drug is very costly. The price of the drug is very costly. The poor patients cannot afford it. India made a generic version of the drug called Genvac. Novartis wanted to evergreen the patent by making small changes to the drug. But India won the case. And India is preparing Genvac. Section 3 clause D is very important. Without showing any new thing to the drug, if you wanted to evergreen the patent, our Indian Patent Act will not allow. IPO, Indian Patent Office, is rejecting most of the patents based on this section 3 clause D. Everybody should know about section 3 clause D. And the next important article today is on an interview on the book China's India War. In that interview, it was told that next, if at all a war comes, means there cannot be a war between China and India on Himalayas. Indian Ocean region is the most crucial area where there might be a future chance of fighting. Indian Ocean region is a future turmoil region and not the Himalayan region at all. And next, China is focusing more on Myanmar, Maldives. You all know China and Maldives signed free trade agreement, and China has a better deal with Myanmar. Even China recently proposed a Rohingya policy to Myanmar, and China's friendship with various Indonesian littoral countries. And even though Bhutan don't have any diplomatic ties with China, how Bhutan is playing a policy in Doklam issue. All these things were discussed in the interview. The interview is very important for IR students. Regular students, they can read the core of the interview, like how 1962 China war and what type of methods that were needed between India and China now. India and China are the largest trading partners, you all know that. And India and China have very good track record in BIMSTEC, in BICSAM, in BCIM, and also BRICS New Development Bank, BRIC is BRICS, and Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And India has to decide, India has to work on border issues to settle the border issues. At the same time, India should also work on good relationship with the neighborhood. Thank you very much. These are the current affairs.